Hurricane boats. You see them all the time after a hurricane. Boats that were in the wrong place at the wrong time, or whose skippers were poorly prepared for the onslaught of Mother Nature. According to Sail Magazine, Boat US has estimated that more than 64,000 boats were damaged in the United States last year alone. While for many boaters, these storms have meant a loss, for others, they represent a possible opportunity. In fact, before hurricanes even clear the coast, many bargain hunters are already looking for deals. But be warned, while this might seem like a great way to get a nice boat at a bargain price, some caution and common sense is needed to avoid purchasing a proverbial hole in the water where you pour your money in and it disappears. Hi, I'm Alan Stokow, and this is Grampian Marine, the channel for people who buy, repair, and maintain older fiberglass boats. To paraphrase writer Wayne Canning, first and foremost, before rushing off to a hurricane zone to find the perfect boat, it's best to take your time. The better deals on damaged boats will come from insurance sales, since these boats tend to have been worth more prior to a loss than an uninsured boat. And it often takes weeks or even months for the insurance companies to evaluate and arrange for salvage of the boats that they insure. As a result, the good deals will not be gone if you wait. In fact, waiting often results in better deals, as there will be more selection in general for buyers. After a large storm, not only are repair yards fully booked, but the repair facilities may also be damaged, making getting repairs done difficult or impossible. Often these lightly damaged boats might work for you. Remember, the boat may have been in poor shape before the hurricane. Before looking for a hurricane boat to restore, you must also decide if this type of project is right for you. Ask yourself if you have what it takes to make the needed repairs. Hurricane damaged boats often require many skills and resources to rehab. Therefore, if you are planning on hiring others to do much of the work, I strongly suggest you reconsider getting one of these boats. Skilled labor is expensive. The fact that the insurance companies are liquidating the boats means that they have already determined it was not practical to hire someone to make the boat usable again. Ultimately, storm-damaged boats are only financially practical if you can provide all the necessary sweat equity to save labor costs. Also, where you'll be able to work on a damaged boat if you get one. Do-it-yourself boat yards are getting increasingly rare. The boat will likely also need to be moved, either to where you live, which may be would be a great distance and a great expense, or at minimum to another yard, further adding to your expenses. Unless the boat is a small trailable one, there will be a lot to consider when it comes to working locations. Of course, if you go and work on the boat in its current location, you will be ahead of the game. But as most repairs can take weeks and even months to complete, most of us have to move the boat to where we live and work. If after taking this into consideration and other factors, you still feel you have what it takes to handle a project of this type, it is time to think about selecting the right boat. With that in mind, I suggest you start by looking at boats as if you were shopping for, say, a normal used one. You will, for example, still want to find a boat that was well maintained and that had working equipment and gear that you wanted and need. For the time being, ignore the damage and evaluate the boat in its pre-loss condition. Check things like engine hours and the condition of the sails and the rigging. If the boat was poorly maintained and or had a lot or worn out equipment before it was damaged, keep looking. Also, take some time to find the normal resale value for any boat that you're looking at, as this will help you later decide on how to bid. There is an old joke about the skipper scuttling an old worn-out boat for the insurance to get a new boat. When you live in an area where there is a hurricane every couple of years, the fraud is even more, shall we say, sublime. If you're finding this video useful or just entertaining, please subscribe and ring the bell to be notified next time we post. Ring the bell and give us a thumbs up. We have a boat buying checklist for you that you can have for free, and we'll tell you more about that at the end of the video. Now, don't bother contacting insurance companies after a storm. A much better place to look would be from those companies that specialize in liquidating these boats and which can be easily found online. These will be your best resources, as these are the people charged with selling the boats. You also can contact towing and salvage companies in the affected areas, as well as local marine surveyors. Yes, arranging a professional inspection is vital to ensure you don't end up owning a money pit. I would strongly suggest that you hire a professional marine surveyor to both help evaluate the extent of the damage and help determine how much it will cost to repair. Many boats may have hidden damage that is not easy to find right off. As mentioned before, you will want to have a good feel for the boat's pre-loss condition as well. There is no point in buying a boat you hope will be a quick fix, only to find out there's major hull or core damage. Keep in mind when inspecting any vessel that you need to have the owner's or insurance company's permission to board, and that your time aboard may be limited. Use caution when boarding, as it can be hazardous from the damage or perhaps contaminants. Always wear shoes and protective clothing when inspecting a boat. Not all storm damage is easy to repair. I suggest staying away from any boat that has been submerged, even if it's only a partial submersion, since the extent of the damage from water intrusion can be difficult to fully evaluate. Boats that have been grounded can also have hidden damage, with repairs to rudders and running gear being particularly expensive. Boats with dock rash or which have had a collision with other boats or a fixed structure like a dock are often your best bet. Rig damage can also be relatively easy to fix, although parts can be expensive. Once you've found a boat, it's time to look at the cost. Before you even think about placing a bid, it's important to know your budget and stick to it. As I always say, never fall in love with a boat. I'm guessing that this video will be well over 10 minutes, so let's take a short break and I'll tell you about our handout. It's a damaged boat buyer's checklist, but I must warn again, do not buy a boat without having a surveyor have a look at it. Please. There are two key numbers to keep in mind when figuring out how much to bid. First is what will the boat be worth once the repairs are complete. The other is the cost to make those repairs. Whatever estimate you come up with, double it just to be on the safe side. Don't forget to add in closing and transportation costs. That done, subtract the repair costs from the estimated finished value and you have a maximum bid. Honestly, there is really not any reason to buy a wrecked boat when you can have one in your hand locally for a similar price. Keep in mind that because of the location, possibly out of country, and the boat's registration, getting it home and insuring it may be an additional hassle and expense. Finally, knowing how to bid is important. There are basically two types of auctions held with first is open bid, where you know just what the other person is bidding. The other is a closed bid, where you submit your best bid and hope that it's the best price. You have no idea what other people have been bidding. Okay, so thank you for watching. I'm Alan Stokel.